As breeders, we always get this dreaded phone call. It's the puppy. I just bought him yesterday. He has diarrhea, or he's being lethargic, and you get that gut wrench punch to the stomach.
So, what were you saying you wanted to cover? Mouthful of food got what you got? That the jerky?
Nah, it was chicken nugget. It's a leftover chicken nugget.
Oh man.
Sandra called me and talking about breakfast. You should put it in the microwave. I take mine out of the microwave from last night. Anyway, I know as breeders, we always get this dreaded phone call. It's the puppy. I just bought him yesterday. He has diarrhea, or he's being lethargic, and you get that gut wrench punch to the stomach.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that in regards to what we just talked about was, where's your mind go immediately?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you immediately say, where'd you take him?
Yep.
Be
Yep.
with him. What with this? Did you take him to a dog park? Did you take him around other dogs? Did you do this? Did you do that? We immediately go on the offense. And it's because the dog was super healthy at our house. No problems. Firm stool, playing. Well, here's the thing. When you was a child, I don't know about you, but I know when I was a kid, when I did something wrong, I would hear that. Keep playing with me. Wait till we get home. Or wait till your dad come home. He's gonna tear your ass up. So or we'll use as an adult. You're going through a divorce and you really still love the person, or your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, she breaks up with you and she leaves you. You're not like, fuck yeah. And we can act like that in public, but behind closed doors, what do? You get the fucking shits.
Yeah.
Your stomach's in a knot. You're just like, oh man, my fucking stomach
You're
hurts.
right.
You
You're
got
right.
the runs, you barely eat. So why wouldn't the same thing apply for another living animal? It's the same thing that's going on with that puppy. It doesn't know these people. You don't know because you'll just say you and your family with a puppy. You got your son, he's 2. He's just like, oh, puppy. And and then he's on to the next thing. And now he's playing with Big Bird or Blue's Clues or whatever shit. I don't know nothing about kid stuff now, but he's on his iPad now. He played with the puppy. He played with Zaza for like 2 minutes. Now he's onto the iPad. You see what I'm saying? You sold this dog to these people who have 4 kids. Now this puppy's being touched nonstop and petted and passed around for fucking 8 hours. And he's just like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is going on? He's nervous. He's scared. You know what I mean? Just imagine when you went in for, a, a job that you really wanted. Yeah, you might have been confident, but inside your stomach, I promise you, that shit was doing backflips.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, yeah, if you got the job, you would talk the shit. Yeah, I knew I had that in the bag. You know what I mean? When you didn't get the job, and fuck, man, you still got the shits either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
immediately think horrible. I know I personally do the same thing. I jump to the worst conclusion ever. And the reality is, it could be homesick. The puppy could be homesick. The transportation stressed him out to the point where now he has diarrhea.
I think that's just human nature for us to also naturally in our heads go to the worst possible scenario.
But you worry because, hypothetically, I don't know how much you sell your puppies for. We'll just say $5,000.
Yeah.
Monday, the person comes and gets the puppy from you. They give you 5 G's. Tuesday, they call you. They tell you the dog is, something's wrong. And I don't know, maybe you spent $1,000 on dog food. Out of that $1,000, you might have bought a new camera or something. I don't know, or a new piece of equipment behind you or something. I'm just giving you an example. And you're like, oh, now I gotta tell my wife I gotta take $1,000 out of the bank. She's gonna fucking let me have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you immediately start thinking, and then you snowball. You know what I mean? And the reality is the dog is just stressed. Stress can, so it can mess up the GI tract. just like it can mess up your GI tract. Stress can do the same thing to a puppy that's this small as it can do to your big ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I never thought about it like that, but you're 100% right because I mean, especially the puppy's used to most likely being with its siblings, being able to play around whenever it wants, so on and so forth. It's got its mom there and everything, and now you completely being uprooted, and now you're if the puppy's going to a home, a pet home, most likely, then you're talking about they're going into a home where there's maybe few to none other, dogs, and it's mostly surrounded by now humans, so
Look at
those
everything you just
this
described is stress, stress, stress. And people can be on here and be like, well, I'm very confident dogs. I do too. But, your confidence can only go so far.
yeah.
You know
Yep.
what I mean? That's just me and you. I'm a pretty confident guy. I've done what I've done for years. And, even there's certain times where that phone call, the dog has diarrhea. I immediately know that I'm confident that that dog did not have anything wrong with me when it left my house. I get that gut feeling like,
Yeah.
not because not because I have to pay the person back or anything like that, or I have to pay a vet bill. Nothing like that. One, what if they have a kid? They bought this puppy to be that kid's birthday gift, hypothetically. Like we bought a Roar, a Pekingese, you know that.
Sure.
So what happens if I bought this Pekingese for my daughter and she loves it? It's 2 days in, and now he's getting sick. I don't care about the money that I paid for the puppy. I don't give a fuck about the vet bills that I have to pay for the puppy. I care about the feeling that my daughter has in her stomach right now. Because why? What if I go to the vet and I don't come back with this fucking puppy? You see what I'm saying? That's how my mind thinks. And now I hurt this little girl unintentionally.
Yeah, and it is traumatizing for pet homes. Say they have a young puppy and the puppy passing, or they have to put it down, or whatever the case may be. I
Or they
mean,
have to spend, hypothetically, they have to spend $400 or $500 after they just gave you $5,000 for that dog.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And but it's hard to get pet homes. If you're a pet home watching this, I'm not trying to be mad or bad. I mean, badmouth you guys. It's hard to get them to understand because of the excitement of the new puppy. And I get it. They're excited. They got a new puppy. They got Roscoe running around. You know what I mean? They're happy. What do you mean I gave him diarrhea? Or you get the ones that he's on Iams dog food, per se, puppy food, and they take him home. I don't like Iams. I want to switch him to this. Why has he got diarrhea?
yeah.
Well, you just gave a baby who's been eating, breast milk his entire life, and now you just say, "Hell, I don't feel like it. Let me give you whole milk and watch what happens." He's gonna blow that damn diaper smooth off his backside. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
So
And
anytime you change diet, you can disrupt the GI tract. Anytime you involve stress, you can upset the GI tract. Same thing that you personally upset your GI tract for, it's the same thing we can upset their GI tract for. And we have to remind our pet homes and our buyers that, hey, listen, try a little less is more right now. You know what I mean? I understand the newness of a puppy because obviously I just bought a Pekingese for my daughter and she was like, oh my God, carrying it around like it's a damn stuffed animal everywhere. I literally just had to take my kids to school and this little fucker was in the front seat with me. You see
yeah.
what I'm saying? But if he has an upset GI tract because, I'm over stimulating him and I'm making him nervous, I have to understand that it could be that that's why I have diarrhea or soft stool or why he's acting lethargic because
Even
he has.
vomiting. Like a light vomit. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're stressed out enough, it might cause you to vomit. You
Yeah,
know.
some people vomit. They don't have diarrhea. It comes out this way, not that way. You know what I mean? So you just have to take that in consideration sometimes, guys. When you're talking to your clients, just blow well, first and foremost, don't just blow them off. Try to walk them through it. Hey, ask them some questions. Did you change his food? No, I'm still using the bag you gave me. Okay. Did you overstimulate the dog with too many people? Why is that a big thing? And then explain it to him. Like, hey, imagine you personally walking into a room with 50 people and you're naked.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be like, hey, you know what I mean? You're gonna be like, oh shit, what just happened? Why am I here naked? You know what I mean? That's basically what you're doing to a puppy sometimes.
Yeah.
Put them into a room completely naked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree, and it makes a lot of sense. I never really, even myself, I can speak for myself. I never really thought about it like that. One of the biggest things I could just say though is like when the puppies, have had their issues, the best advice I could give any other breeder is just like, hey, just reassure them, be there for them, and reassure them. Don't make them feel like they're being left high and dry and any help that you can give them to make them feel like you're in it with them because you are and you'll reach
Yeah,
your
just
goal, you know?
don't tell them, oh, that ain't my problem. No, no, that's not the answer. And that's how you get a 1-star review on Google. You know what I mean? Don't just, say high and dry. Don't leave them to the wolves. You know what I mean? Just be honest with them. Like, hey, ask them some questions. You're not trying to make it their fault per se, but you got to find out why it's happening. And once we can figure out why it's happening, we can help it. I mean, literally, we just had a puppy, absolutely healthy, no problems. Sent it home. We dropped it off on like a Saturday or Sunday. Perfectly healthy that day, no problems. Next day, next morning, healthy. Monday afternoon, lethargic. Wouldn't even get up. And I'm like, what the fuck? Homesick. Took him to the vet. No Giardia, no coccidia, no nothing. Nothing in the snap test, negative. I paid the vet bill, it was like $280, but nothing wrong with it. And the vet said, maybe he's homesick. Just give him some time. 2 days later, they called me and said, hey, puppy's perfectly fine. I'm like, what? I'm over here, stomach's in the goddamn knot. I got diarrhea. I got Giardia over this motherfucker. Because I'm worried about this puppy. Not because of the money. It's merely because it's my reputation that I give this dude a sick dog. I care about that kind of stuff.
And actually that leads me to something else that you made me just think of too is because we were talking a little bit about pricing a little earlier on. You know, if that's going to be an issue where a customer, I'm speaking from a breeder's perspective, if a customer is going to have an issue with their dog, and especially within, it's within the first few months of them getting their dog, whatever the case may be, especially if they just got the dog, you should be factoring that into your pricing so that then if
Well, you
something.
can even give them pet insurance. You normally get 1 month for free.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I think we when we send our puppies home, we send them home with Trupanion, or maybe because my wife has some kind of setup to where we can give it to you for 1 month and we pay. I don't know. I don't know. That's my wife. But you have free insurance for 1 month.
You
So if
see,
anything goes wrong in the first week, take it to the vet. You will pay the bill and they will reimburse you. That's how it works.
see?
I mean,
That's a
it's
great.
worth it. It's free. Why not use it? It's for the first 30 days, it's free.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, for me, yet again, the premium of my puppies, if someone has a vet bill that's a couple $100, if it's something that we can figure out so that we can resolve whether the puppy does or doesn't have parvo, whatever the case may be, I try to factor that into my pricing a little bit. So then, if it does come up, it's not even a question, hey, don't worry about it, but I like that concept as well too. So see, we just literally gave you guys two different concepts so that then your clients should never feel like they're left high and dry. I mean, that's
Even your pet home should understand the other side of what we just talked about is, hey, don't immediately believe or don't get on the internet and look up Dr. Google and say, oh, my dog got parvo. Because as a
yeah.
breeder, I'm telling you, that shit was a gut check for me. You know what I mean? I'm over here thinking I can't even touch my own puppies now unless I, you know what I mean, take a full-blown body shower and all that kind of shit. Gloves on, booties on my feet, and it's like, all right, burn them all. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing too, is yet again, like as the breeder, if all your other puppies are fine, and now this one puppy, like that's another clear indicator that something's off as far as not like it most likely isn't a parvo scenario if the puppy just got to the new owner and
Yeah.
your
Parvo
puppy.
has a gestation period of 7 to 12 days, I think it is 7 to 12 days. So, I mean, that could happen, but you would see signs here. I mean, it normally doesn't affect one puppy in the litter. That's not how it works.
Exactly. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, just remember, always remember how you feel in a new situation or in a nervous situation, or when you was about to get in trouble with your mom or your dad, or you're about to go in for an interview, you wasn't over there like, hell yeah. My fucking stomach was in knots. He was over there. You know what I mean? Over there passing gas and shit. So that's just the truth. The dog is doing the exact same thing. It's nervous, it's uncomfortable, and it's nothing that you can prepare the dog for. I can take the dog to Petco, PetSmart, Tractor Supply, but I can't prepare it for an entire troop of Girl Scouts to come in and play with this puppy. Like I can't prepare that. I have two small children. I mean, I can't. Where am I going to rent Girl Scout cookies? I mean,
Well,
Girl Scout
yeah.
troop from.
And I mean, but that is also a reality too. I mean, a lot of pet owners when they first get the puppy, they do want to take the puppy out, which is usually one of the worst things they kind of can do, and they
It's
just
not that it's worse. We're showing them why it's not. I wouldn't use the word healthy because you at that age you do want to expose the dog to as much as you possibly can. So it's a double-edged sword, guys, and we're not trying to tell you not to expose the dogs, but what I'm telling you is be mindful at the exposure. The exposure might cost you some diarrhea, some soft stools, and the reason for that is the stress. Stress does the same thing to a human as you would expect to do to a puppy. I understand that same thing in humans, we have to push our limits and put ourselves in uncomfortable positions like you have made me do with these videos. And, okay, now it's a norm for me.
yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Same thing with a dog. Keeping it in the house and never exposing it to anything is not the answer either. So it's a double-edged sword. You have to expose the dog, but it might cause a little bit of loose stool or a little bit of diarrhea.
Exactly.
So it does this, and that's what I want people to understand. And diarrhea is not like a death sentence. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? The dog's lethargic and it has diarrhea and vomiting and not eating. Now we have a little, and it has a fever. Now we have some questions.
Yeah, because I believe in the book I was reading, one of the Blackwell's books, it was talking about how I forget the proper terminology. It's like acute or I forget the name, but long story short, what it was saying is like mild diarrhea is considered for up to 5 to 7 days. Anything past that, then it's like you actually have something more severe than just mild diarrhea.
Yeah.
So, and that's what the book.
They sell chiropectate, which is in humans we would call it Pepto-Bismol, but it just the only difference is it lacks aspirin. There's no aspirin in chiropectate. So there is actual I think a small amounts of aspirin in Pepto-Bismol,
It
which
does say you could. It does say in the book though that you can give Pepto-Bismol to the dog.
and the reason I say that because I don't want anybody to come on here and go after me. I have lost a dog from Pepto-Bismol, a puppy. Yeah, it went into shock because it was allergic to aspirin, I guess. But I mean, where chiropectate supposedly doesn't have aspirin in it, so it's the same concept, and it's way cheaper. And you get a huge fucking bottle from Tractor Supply, and you'll never get rid of it. You know, I mean, you'll probably have that bottle for the rest of your breeding career, and it will help their stomach. Same thing. Just remember, when I was learning to be a vet tech, they told me that the human body and the dog body is very similar. They have the same systems as we have, almost the same, medications that they would take, we would take. Not all of them, but and then the way that our body reacts to certain things, their body reacts to certain things. So stress gives them diarrhea. When they don't feel good and they start getting, uh, saliva all built up in the mouth. That's what you get when you're about to throw up. Your mouth starts watering. They get the same concept. You know what I mean? So always remember what you're dealing with. Did the dog eat something? If you know as a new owner of a puppy that you've done your part where he didn't eat anything other than the food that I gave you per se, and and I haven't stressed him out, just you and the dog. Just
Yeah.
give him time to adapt. When I was in the service and I got stationed in Okinawa, Japan, I remember I went over like this, hoodie, hat. I got off that motherfucking plane. I was about to sweat to death. It was like 100 degrees outside. And I left here. I left the States. I flew out of LA. I mean, out of LaGuardia. And I left. And I want to tell you, it was probably like 38 degrees outside. I get over there, it's 100 degrees. And they gave me 2 weeks to acclimate, is what they call it. They gave me 2 weeks to acclimate to the temperature. So same thing applies to a dog. Give it some time to acclimate to you, your family, and your way of doing things. Because my way of doing things and Angel's way of doing things aren't the same. You see what I'm saying? So a new customer, he's going to have a different schedule. He might have to be at work at 6 o'clock where I don't have to be at work till 12 o'clock.
100%. I agree. I mean, yeah. So, that just kind of gives you guys an idea when it comes to, picking up a new puppy and some of the things that you could come across, especially my pet owners that are getting new puppies and my breeders who get that dreaded phone call. So, anyway, guys, that kind of I think that sums up this episode, right? I think we covered it pretty good.